On behalf of upGrad Abroad, I welcome all of you to our webinar on building a tech career in the United States on new age career fields as artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, and data analytics. I'd love to introduce upGrad as a concept to you. upGrad is an international higher education organization. We're trying to ensure that we get some of the world's top 1% universities to make their education for Indian students way more affordable, way more accessible, and way more democratized. We try to help working professionals across India start their degrees early on in India without leaving their jobs, and then transition seamlessly and smoothly after 8 months or a year to the university of their choice and build their career, fast forwarded. We're joined here by Yeshiva University, which is one of the top 1% universities in the world. I will slowly introduce the set of experts that we have with us. Would love to introduce Jerry, who's a part of my team who handles and heads the university partnerships for the United States. Hi, Jerry. Welcome to the webinar.
Hi, Praneet. Hi, everyone. Thank you for my welcome. Just so everyone knows, my role with upGrad Abroad, I am the Vice President for institutional partnerships in North America. So I am I am the person on the ground here in the US trying to open up those opportunities for our students to be able to come over to the US to institutions like Yeshiva. So looking forward to working with you all and going from there. At this point, I will also, I'll start off an introduction and introduce Aaron Ross from Yeshiva University. He's the Director of Strategic Initiatives at Yeshiva. And Aaron is just going to briefly talk to you, give you a couple of seconds here about Yeshiva and what it's like to study in New York City. I know we're talking about the job network and those kinds of things and career networks, but just to give you an idea of what that's like. So Aaron, I'll pass it over to you.
Thanks, Jerry. And we're thrilled to be here to speak with you all today. And we have some great program directors with deep expertise. So I know they'll be able to answer the very specific questions you might have about our programs or working and studying in the US generally. You know, New York City is a big city. It's the global capital for business in the United States. And what you get by studying at Yeshiva is, you know, a boutique experience in the big city. We are a close-knit community of, you know, really strong, smart students who are pursuing their different disciplines, whether it's applied science or health. And program directors know you by name. You know all of your faculty, and what that really gives you, and you're able to leverage when you're working and studying in New York City, is connection to industry. By design, our courses are taught by industry practitioners, the majority of industry practitioners, which means that as these fields are changing every day, you have a currency of knowledge of what's going on in the real world. It also means that when you're looking for internships, which I know many of you will be interested in, you'll be able to tap into those networks and find positions pretty easily. And they're very in demand with the fields that you'll be interested in. And when you're looking for your post-graduation OPT, the ability to work after graduation, those networks will be really accessible. So the combination of the programs that we offer and the access to industry and some of the very unique features that we'll speak about that are available through our programs at Yeshiva make it a really great choice for you to continue to pursue your studies.
Just to jump into this point to explain our collaboration academically with Yeshiva University, we allow working graduates across India with a stipulated amount of academic credentials to enter into Yeshiva while they pursue an advanced certificate program from IIIT Bangalore for 8 months. The advanced certificate program gives them a certain amount of advanced credits that gives them an advanced or a literal entry into Yeshiva University, waiving off 2 to 3 courses on their general curriculum across a Master of Science degree in Artificial Intelligence, Master of Science degree in Cybersecurity, and Master of Science degree in Data Analytics and Visualization. To explain the same, We've got Jared, who is the Director of Graduate Recruitment and Admissions at Yeshiva University. We've got Sivan, Tehila, who is the Director of Cybersecurity at the GAT School at Yeshiva University. We've got Andy Catlin, who is the Program Director of Data Analytics and Visualization. And finally, we've got Pablo Roldan, who is the Director of Artificial Intelligence. With our program at upGrad, Yeshiva University's degree is going to cost you almost $10,000 lesser than a regular degree in the United States with a IIIT Bangalore Advanced Certificate program. And you don't have to immediately transition to the US. You can spend 8 months, finish your advanced certificate program, and then transfer to Yeshiva University in the next possible intake. To take this conversation forward from here, I'd invite Jerry to take it up with the team. And for any questions that you guys have, we'd love to take them towards the later 20 minutes of the webinar. Over to you, Jerry.
All right, so I think at this point we're, Aaron, if you want to start your presentation actually to sort of kick that off.
Before we do, maybe we can ask our program directors to address the topic of the webinar. Is how can those students build a tech career, and what are the advantages of doing so in the US and New York City, and specifically Yeshiva? And maybe I'll start with Sivan for cybersecurity.
Hey everyone. I would love to talk about this topic because I only moved to the US about 3 years ago, and I had to start from scratch and to build my career here after I spent most of the time working in cybersecurity when I lived in Israel. So I totally understand I can only imagine the concerns you have, and I can relate to what you're going through now. And I know it sometimes can be a hard decision to move to a new place and to think about how do you build a career. And one of the things that really helped me to start from scratch was to basically think about who I can connect with. Networking is something that is super important, and getting to meet people in advance, even before you move here, that's a super important thing to do. And one of the things I'm working with my students on is basically to build their a career strategy, but also working with them on how to build their network so they will have a better understanding on where they want to get to, what their next steps should be. And you're going to start your studies hopefully soon, and I think it should be clear to you what will be the next steps afterwards, and also during your studies, if you're looking for an internship, and if there is specific niche in cybersecurity that you would like to focus on. It's important to get to meet people who work in the industry, and I think that's one of the very special things about our program at YU. It's a kind of a boutique program. You live in the US, but you still have a very close relationship with the faculty, and all of our faculty are leaders in the industry. So you get both, building your network and your career strategy, and taking the right steps in order to get to the point when you are able to start a career in the industry. Maybe I'll talk about this later, but the way I built a career was to build a cyber ladies community, and around this community and around this event, I got to meet great people. And in our program, we're also planning to have these kind of like networking events, and to provide some workshops around the security operations center that we're building now. So I think that's the way I see it, and based on my experience, it also worked for me. So I'm happy to answer any other questions later on.
Great. Pablo.
Yes. Hi. Thanks, Aaron, and hi, everyone. I would like to say that for me, the experience was very similar to Sivan's. I arrived in the US 5 years ago. I am originally from Europe, from Barcelona. And I had a similar experience in the sense that the reason why I moved to the US was basically for the really good job atmosphere and connections that one can find here, work related. So about our program, I would like to emphasize that in artificial intelligence, for instance, around 50% of our students are international. This means that you will feel quite at home here because a lot of people are going through the same things, similar things as you would. Then another important thing is that our program, artificial intelligence in particular, is, in my opinion, is a good mixture of academic and industry faculty who are going to work with you very closely. And this is, I think that this is an important balance that one has to strike, because some of the students want to go for more academic kind of jobs and maybe even go for a PhD afterwards. And some other students are more interested in finding a job in the industry. And for that, New York is unbeatable, right? New York has the perfect mixture. It is the perfect environment. It's a very large university hub. You will find very good universities in the area that you can attend the seminars that happen there, etc., and make connections with other students, other graduate students there, as well as, of course, a very large hub of companies and startups. So this makes the perfect, say, ambient for an international student like you, like yourselves, to develop their career. And in particular, I think that this has been mentioned, but I think that a great opportunity is to participate in internships and this CPT or OPT training that we offer. We offer several opportunities for this. So we are developing continuously. We are developing ties to companies that take our students for internships. And then these students, oftentimes after they're finished with their degrees, they go and they stay at these companies for, I think they can do training for up to 3 years in total. So this is a very good opportunity for you guys. So thanks, and I will be very happy to answer any questions that you have later on.
Great. Andy?
Thank you, Aaron. Yeah, so for building a tech career in the US in data analytics and visualization, I can speak from firsthand experience because that's what I've done. And I've launched several companies in that space, hired lots of people, built successful companies in New York, and I still talk with peers in the field. And two things I hear over and over again are they want people who have the foundational skills to be able to learn new things quickly. And they want people who not only understand the data analytics, the data science, but can drive business outcomes. And I strongly believe that the data analytics and visualization program does that. One piece of advice I would give, and it's a little hard, but I think our faculty can help with that, is understanding the trends that are happening now and how they will shape and reshape your career. So for example, automated machine learning and cloud web services are really changing the kind of work that people in data analytics, data science, and AI do relative to 5 years ago. And our faculty, I think one question you should ask yourself is, what makes Yeshiva's program special? And I think one of the things that make data analytics and Professor Roldan's AI program special is we do these special topics courses in automated machine learning, cloud computing for AWS solution architect, recommender systems, experimental optimization, reinforcement learning, the things that really help people keep current, to allow them to come in and have interesting standout portfolios with customers. One fun aside, that one of our faculty who teaches a class in data product designs just left his job as the #2 of data services for the second largest credit processing company in the world to start a well-funded startup in Florida. And he called me yesterday and said, I need 15 people. Can you give me a list of students? That doesn't happen every day, but I thought it was a happy story I wanted to share with you. So.
Great. And so with that, I'm just going to share my screen and we're going to get into our brief presentation so that we can have enough time to answer all of your great questions. Just bear with me one moment. All right, and so I'm just going to turn it over to my colleague, Xavier.
Awesome. Good morning, everyone. My name is Xavier. I'm on the admissions team with Yeshiva University's CAT School. And one thing to recognize, as we've highlighted up to this point, is that Yeshiva is nationally recognized, internationally recognized, is one of the is in the top 100 of national universities, ranked 68 by the US News and World Report, number 33 for best values of schools, and you'll really see your return on investment with the programs that we offer at Yeshiva. Founded in 1886, the school is over 100 years old. So again, going back to that strong reputation, where there's 11 different graduate schools and including the YU undergraduate students. At the graduate level, we have the Cardozo School of Law, Furkoff School of Psychology, School of Social Work. And that's just to highlight that it's very diverse. The graduate schools are secular and there is no religious requirement to be part of the university and to be part of the CAT school, considering that we have over 4 different campuses. The CAT school's mission, vision, and values is that we're making the world smarter, safer, and healthier. And that's whether through its impact on the economic or social level. And really, as we've highlighted, it's the careers of the future, whether we're talking about AI, cybersecurity, or data analytics. These are the fields that are going to be impacting the way that we continue to interact with the world. There's also a number of different programs available at the school, but today, again, AI, cyber, and data analytics being our top 3 that we're talking about today. All these programs are STEM approved for OPT. And what that means is that students are eligible for 36 months of STEM OPT. And that gives students the ability to stay and work in the United States for a total of 3 years after completing the master's program, which is really a great opportunity. And there is the Office of International Services that provides support to students throughout their process. And they actually have some really great videos online where it breaks down the difference between CPT, OPT, and STEM OPT. Quickly highlighting what is CPT. CPT is the ability to do an internship experience after completing 2 semesters. And that kind of speaks to the CAT experience, where students come from over 30 different countries around the globe. Faculties are leaders in their industry, and then there's flexibility. So that students are able to take evening classes while still providing the opportunity to have flexibility throughout their workday, such as a daytime internship. And then as an admitted student for the upcoming fall semester, you'll be considered a STEMS fellow, where students will receive industry mentorship, showcase their capstone at the annual conference, and then have the opportunity to publish the capstone at a conference presentation, which again, just adds to your resume, adds to your experience, and makes you a stronger candidate once it's time to go out and find a job in the field. There's also opportunities to continue showcasing that work. And one of those opportunities is with the YU Innovation Lab. The YU Innovation Lab provides a space for students to collaborate with Israeli startups and different industry experts. Students are able to bring their work, whether it's from their capstone or presentation, and begin to work at the YU Innovation Lab. And that provides the opportunity for exposure and also the opportunity to be hired. You know, being able to showcase the work that you're doing provides that opportunity to get your work in front of others and potentially find that job opportunity, which is really what we're looking for. Is the end game, is finding, getting the degree and finding a job in the field. And through that, you'll have support as a student, where there is a comprehensive career services for students to have that professional development. Career services provide supports from resume and cover letter review, career advising, and workshops as well. So certainly a resource to look into. And this is for the CAT School school. The CAT School itself, as we've mentioned, is located in New York City, which is the US capital for global business. For a lot of these sectors that we're talking about, AI, cybersecurity, and data analytics, it's a great opportunity for students to go out there and be immersed in this industry. The city population is over 8 million individuals, and with different populations, different cultures. So definitely diversity is a big thing that's highlighted in New York City. And I think it really gives students the opportunity to go out. You know, you see Wall Street right there and say, hey, I'm a student at Yeshiva University. I'm studying in AI. I'm studying data analytics, cybersecurity. Is there an internship opportunity available for me? And students could really have that opportunity by simply going outside, walking down the street, and finding the next available company that's willing to hire an intern, right? And it's really, as a New York City native, it's really convenient in terms of location. The CAT School is located on 32nd Street and Lexington Avenue, which really provides the benefit of living in different locations. So you don't necessarily have to feel like you're living in Midtown Manhattan. You can live in Uptown Manhattan, in the Bronx, Brooklyn, Queens, some of our other boroughs, as well as potentially considering right across the river in Jersey City, which is one of another city that is deemed as an extremely diverse city. Long Island City, Hoboken, those are transportations systems that are available within 20, 30 minutes, an hour at most. Just again, considering the centralized location that the school is in, students are able to take a number of different trains, buses, to arrive to the school. And then of course comes the opportunity to explore New York City. I myself am a New York City native. One of my favorite things to do is to go out to the Yankee Stadium. And again, you will have community at the CAT School, and with the opportunity to participate in a number of different events. One of the things that we'll do is make sure that students have the opportunity to have a Facebook group. And that would be that provides students the ability to build community and begins planning for some of those things, whether it's what is my housing situation, or hey, let's meet up and grab a bite to eat. I'm gonna pass it right now to Jared, who is also a New York City native. Oh, we're moving along. All right, let's move along. I was gonna give Jared the opportunity to talk about some opportunities that students have, such as orientation, walking the Brooklyn Bridge, and these are some of the things that students do while they're actually enrolled at the school. But right now I'm gonna go ahead and pass it to Pablo, who's gonna dig into a little bit more into the MS and AI program.
Thank you. So for the artificial intelligence program, I would like to highlight that it's a little longer than the other two programs. It consists of 36 credits. So each course is about 3 credits, okay? So this means that overall the program would be 12 courses approximately if you came here without coming through upGrad. But coming through upGrad, 3 of these courses would be transferred. The credit would be transferred from your upgrad studies to yeshivas. So instead of 12, that becomes just 9 courses that you need to take here. The contents of our program, well, the main goal is to have you learn AI applications, design and build these applications. So applications in which fields? Many different fields. Some things, classical applications of AI, for instance, include natural language processing, image recognition, computer vision, chatbots, and more. Then another goal is that you would be able to translate your AI research that you do with us into products, services, and startup companies. And finally, our goal is to prepare you for a variety of jobs in the industry and in research. And I would like to mention, beside this very generic description of what AI is and what we prepare you for, I would like to mention that AI, as you know, is a high that's in it's very on demand. In particular, it's the second job in increasing demand, according to the World Economic Forum's statistics that have been just released this year. They usually have very high salaries, the AI professionals. Depending on specialty, this ranges from 100K a year to 200K in US dollars. And finally, I would like to emphasize that in our program, we make this emphasis in the balance between industry and academic experience. So I'm going to pass it on to the next program director.
Thank you, Pablo. Yeah. For data analytics, I would say that to differentiate it from Pablo's excellent artificial intelligence program, I would say that for students who have a significantly more math background, AI is probably a better fit. If you haven't had multivariate calculus and linear algebra, data analytics and visualization can be a great program for you. There are students with strong math background who've opted for data analytics and visualization. One of our recent graduates, Jesus Oliveira, wanted to be a product manager. So he, even though he had a math undergrad, came to us and halfway through the program, he got a job at IBM, where he's doing some great work, managing 6 projects right now. But so people in data analytics and visualization start out working as data analysts typically, and that could be building scorecards, doing predictive models, really solving business problems with data. But from there, they can become product managers, information architects, technical leads. It's really having the foundational technical skills, the coding skills in Python and SQL to be able to take those and solve challenging business problems with data. And I think one of the things that really differentiates the people in the field is that they love their work. It's not for everybody, but if you love using code to help make organizations better, I think data analytics and visualization is an awesome career to be in.
Sivan?
I'm sorry. Hey, everyone. So our master's program is 30 credits, 30 credits as well. We are, you will basically have, we're waiving 2 courses based on your past experience. And one of the main advantages in this program is that we also provide very significant hands-on experience. One of the things we're planning to launch by the end of the spring is our Security Operations Center, which basically should demonstrate real-life experience. And as part of our courses, you will have a chance to work in a real security operations center and to get an exposure to leading cybersecurity vendors and platforms. So when you'll go to look for your first entry-level job or in internship, you will be able to also add to your resume the fact that you have an experience with very common and known cybersecurity platforms in the industry. Another thing that I would like to mention here is the fact that we're preparing the students to the most important certificates in this field, CISSP, CCSK, and someone also asked here in the chat regarding ethical hacking. So some of our students also take the Certified Ethical Hacker certificate by EC Council. I would like to also discuss a little bit why now it's a great time to study cybersecurity. There is a global shortage in cybersecurity professionals, and we see that there are around 4 million open positions around the world. And another important thing to mention here is that many of these jobs can be filled remotely. So I know that if you're coming to the US, you would like to work in the US, but keep in mind that this is the new world. And in cybersecurity, and maybe it's also relevant to the other programs, there are many open positions that you can fill in remotely. So it really increases the options that you have out there. And again, that's on top of the rising cybersecurity attacks and all the things that we hear in the news that's going on currently. And I started to talk before earlier about how to build a career strategy. And I think one of the most important things is to understand what you're getting into. If you're choosing or thinking to go and take the cybersecurity certificate, I think you'll need to understand how cybersecurity organization looks like. Are you, your dream is to become a CISO, a Chief Information Security Officer in an organization? So you'll need to understand what is the path in order to get there. If you're willing to start as a cybersecurity analyst, you need to understand where this fits in the organization. So a security analyst will be usually under the security operations division or unit in the organization. Incident response, ethical hacking, all those things also related to security operations. And those are more technical aspects of cybersecurity. In our program, we provide holistic view, holistic perspective on the cybersecurity world. So I know that most of you are coming with a very good technical background, but also if you don't really want to be so technical in the real world, there are many other opportunities. You can focus on risk management or program management. And then in this case, you will need to understand the technical language, but it will be less technical hands-on work to do in your day-to-day position. And the vision we have in the program is to basically prepare the next generation of CISOs, the next generation of cybersecurity leaders. And I think I have it in the next slides. We're basically going to do everything we can to provide you with the relevant tools, mindset, and values to get into this industry and become successful leaders. And as I mentioned before, our faculty, and you can see that also in the link we shared here about the program, you can see that each one of our faculty is a leader in the industry, and each one of them really wants and willing to help you to get into the industry and become successful So I said before, it's a very unique and boutique program since we provide you real world, real time, hands-on experience. We give you access to an amazing network of professionals, and we support you since you start your studies until you find your first job in the industry. And I think that that's all I have now.
Thanks,
Happy
Sivan.
to answer
And,
anything later.
I'd like to introduce our colleague, Jared. And I think he might be having some technical difficulties, so I will take this for him. So what you've heard is, what is Yeshiva, who is CATS, and about our programs. And so just to sum it up, we're highly ranked. We have really strong programs that have a balance of theory and applied. We have programs with industry faculty, and most of our programs, or all of our programs, are project-based, so that when you're looking for a full-time position, you have a really good portfolio of work. So reminder about the upGrad program and our partnership. You would do your studies with upGrad. You will be able to transfer in either 2 or 3 classes, depending on the program that you choose, which will allow you to complete, whether it's AI, cybersecurity, or data analytics, it'll allow you to complete your program in just 1 year on campus. That's 3 semesters. So that means that you're minimizing your living expenses while you complete the program, and then you can start a potentially full-time position sooner. That is a fixed rate tuition cost of $23,500. And then there are additional, although limited, funding opportunities that are available through graduate and research assistant positions. A graduate assistantship is typically more administrative in nature, supporting either our admissions department or our marketing department, in many cases utilizing the skills of your program, which is always good. And then research assistant positions. There are many faculty that might be doing research and have a need for students in a specific discipline, and many of those are paid opportunities as well. And how do we show the ROI? I think this really puts it very simply. 95% of our graduate students are obtaining full-time employment within 6 months. That is an exceedingly strong statistic, so that you can know that, no matter how much money you're spending on a graduate degree, it's significant, and that is you're gonna have value at the end of the day. As Pablo and what we mentioned, that if you're looking for jobs in our industries, they are high-paying jobs, especially living and studying in New York City gives you access to those opportunities. So, some of our alumni are working, as Andy mentioned, at IBM, Microsoft, TikTok, Deutsche Bank, and you can see the job titles that depend on industry: machine learning engineer, data analyst, data engineer, data scientist. So the administrative details, how can you attend? We'll obviously work with your upGrad advisors. They'll help you organize all of your documents and materials, and we work very closely to make sure that you have all the information that you need and you have all of your documentation in order. We're always happy to schedule one-on-one appointments if that is of interest and necessary, but our requirements are an application, your resume, personal statement, letters of recommendation. We do accept TOEFL, IELTS, or Duolingo, and we do not require GRE or GMAT, although if you have it, we'll of course accept it. So at this time, I think we wanted to open it up for Q&A, and maybe I'll defer back to my colleagues at upGrad to help moderate those questions, and we'd be happy to answer anything that you have.
Praneet is, I think, still on, but what I might do is start sort of looking at some of these, the questions that we do have in here. So through the chat. One of the Aaron, this is probably more of a question for you, specific on the on-campus facilities, living facilities, dormitories. This question is specific to females, and if there are specific dorms for females. But I think in general, if you could talk a little bit about, whether there are dormitories on campus for graduate students,
Right.
and if not, what the options might be.
Right. So there's limited graduate housing, so dorms that are available. So you can apply, but those are limited. Most students live off campus. We do connect all of our incoming students through our Facebook and WhatsApp groups. Many students find roommates through that way. We also have graduate clubs that are really active in welcoming new students. And many times, students that are graduating might connect into that group to offer their current apartment. And so that's a great way. We also provide a list of contacts in terms of, realtors or companies that can assist with housing, because there are lots of options available in terms of where you can actually live, like we talked about, whether it's in the city or right outside of the city in other boroughs.
Thanks, Aaron. And yeah, based on my past experience with institutions, to the question specifically, you can always find a couple of female roommates and get an apartment. That's been the most common I've seen from graduate students, especially, kind of getting together. Obviously, we have a group of students, our upgrad students coming to Yeshiva. So, keeping connected with each other and finding roommates that way is also going to be a huge advantage for you guys as well. You're all studying similar classes currently, so you'll be able to connect that way. Another question was about scholarships, and I'm going to quickly touch a little bit on that. There is as an upgrad learner, you actually have a flat rate with Yeshiva. So you're having your courses credit given for your courses, but also you're going to have a flat rate for your remaining courses. So we've worked in a scholarship already into that, so that you just automatically have that flat rate. I believe that is $23,500 for your full master's in all three programs. And for those that are on the call, I've come from a long experience of admissions at different institutions. That kind of price point at a number 68 ranked university in the US, and the opportunities that are available through OPT and work options is an amazing opportunity, just to be open and honest about that. So keep that in mind. So there's no additional scholarships that we offer, but at that price point, you're getting a lot for what you're paying, and a huge return on investment.
Yeah, I think just to jump in between, with the Triple ID Bangalore Advanced Certificate Program, you're saving up to $10,000 US in your credit cost if you're going for the MSAI, and you're saving up to 7,000 USD if you're going for cybersecurity and data analytics. In addition to that, you're saving some additional living costs, and your MS comes out to be less than 20 lakhs of Indian rupees. And once you are an MS grad in India and you get about 3 years, once you're an MS grad in the United States and you get about 3 years of experience to work, your ROI is going to be about 400%. Your starting salaries are going to be somewhere around $90,000 US. So like Jerry mentioned, the ROI is great. And there are about 5,300 universities, just to give you the context, in the United States, and Yeshiva is ranked 68th. So that gives you a good edge in the tech space in the US for employability as well. Jerry, you can take that forward.
I would just add to that, remember, we can talk about the degrees and we can talk about, the opportunities, but, that last slide that we showed you in terms of that 90% employed within 6 months, and that's actually inaccurate for like AI. I think it's 100%. And many students are getting job offers before they even graduate. And as our dean would say, sometimes that's a problem. We need you to stay and complete the degree because you need to be, fully rounded. But we're in New York City, we're showing outcomes, and there's certainly, certainly value there. We think there's exceedingly value in joining our community. And, Praneet?
Yeah, yes. Another question that most of these learners have been asking is, they'd want to know some of the part-time work opportunities they have on campus. Just for everybody who's attending this to know that on an F1 visa, you can't really work off campus starting day one. You can get a CPT like the team mentioned, but only after a certain point. I think I'd let Aaron take that for us, but also explain some of the on-campus opportunities.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. So in your first semester, you're right. You wouldn't be able to do an internship first semester, but you would be able to work on campus first semester. Some of that might be a graduate assistantship that could be awarded by the school, but there may be other part-time on-campus work opportunities that you can apply for outside of the actual admissions process. So just to separate that, we typically will have about a dozen graduate assistantships that we're able to offer to new incoming students every year that are specific to the CAT school. So that might be working in our admissions team. So you might be working with Xavier or Jared or me to recruit the next batch of students and maybe using your data analytics skills to comb through data. It might be working in our marketing group. It might be working in our career center. And then there are other part-time opportunities that might be available. We have some students that are working in food service or security or in athletics. There are many opportunities across the universities that you might be able to apply for outside of the specific opportunities that we would promote to you. And then in terms of internship, as part of your program, you would have to wait until your final semester, your third semester, in order to be able to begin an internship.
Right. So the CPT you mentioned can be taken after their second semester. Is that so?
Yeah. So it's after 2 full-time semesters, and since upgrad students will be here just for 3 semesters, it would be in their third semester. Yes. Third semester, so after they're finished with 2, and then they can apply for CPT, and then they can take up an internship off campus as well. Yes.
In relevant fields only. Right.
It has to be related to their degree, the coursework, and obviously that's with program director approval. So, as Sivan and Andy mentioned and Pablo mentioned, our program directors work with you from day one to understand what your career path and interests are, so that you're already thinking about what that potential internship might be if you already have a sense of where you want to go.
Right, that does answer the question. Just for everybody to know who's asking, the medium of delivery. So your advanced certificate program by IIIT Bangalore that waives off 6 credits for cybersecurity and data analytics and 9 credits for your artificial intelligence MS is completely online. It's for 2.75 lakhs on upGrad platform. That gets you a dual degree. Of course, you get an MS degree from Yeshiva University that gives you the entitlement to get 3 years of OPT, but it also gives you an Indian certification, an advanced certificate in data analytics or cybersecurity or artificial intelligence. So it's a dual degree program. While the ACP is completely online and it is designed for a working professional, so you can continue your job and keep studying in parallel. Your Yeshiva University MS is going to be on campus in New York City. I hope that answers the question for you. Jerry, you can take up the rest of that.
Yeah, sure. We've got about 7 minutes here, so I'm going to try and hit some of the key ones. There's a question about the math required for AL/ML. I'm not sure who might be best to answer that, but
I can
Pablo. Yeah. Okay. Yep.
Yes. Well, as you've heard, AI program is the one that usually requires a stronger math background. So we require as prerequisites to enter the program to have taken at least advanced calculus, that means multivariate calculus, and linear algebra, some mathematics linear algebra course, and mathematics probability or statistics. So a course in either probability or statistics, or possibly both. Okay, so these are the math requirements. But besides that, for the AI program in particular, we also ask you to be proficient in programming. But I think that this is taken for granted from you guys, because so we all of you have a very strong programming background. But those are the technical prerequisites to enter the program. And having said that, I just want to mention that the feedback I get from our students, in particular from artificial intelligence students, the largest challenge they have when studying artificial intelligence is precisely the mathematics. Okay, so probability, statistics, these sort of courses are the ones that they find more challenging, typically. So that's what I hear from our students. Of course, we try to help them as much as we can. I myself, I'm a mathematics professor, so we try to cater to the students who are having more problems with these courses. Thank you.
Just to add on to that.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry, Praneeth.
Yeah, I was just going to say that to enter into some of these programs, you have to be a BSc, BIT, BTech, or BCA grad, or at least have relevant work experience if you don't come from these fields. Say 60% is a minimum requirement. Some of the subjects that Pablo mentioned are going to be covered in the IIITB Advanced Certificate Program, just to ensure that you can champion your academic life, like he mentioned. In order to succeed with the MS in AI or MS in cybersecurity or MS in data analytics course, you will have to need a very strong, robust foundation of some of these subjects, which is one of our sole aim at upGrad, that when you finally transition to the campus to ensure that you're doing well in your degree, on which your employment largely depends, your 8-month course gets you to cover all of those subjects and gives you a good foundational base, or at least a revision, if there's a strong gap between your UG degree to now your pursuit of the MS program. I pass the baton to Jerry.
Yeah, so the other question is, a lot of the questions here are really around job opportunities and pay scales and who gets paid more, which is an impossible question to answer. What I would say is, in general, these areas, data analytics, AI, cybersecurity, software development, are huge areas in the US of need of employment. So you're looking for job opportunities. That's why there is the STEM program, for OPT of being 3 years. But I thought, kind of as maybe a last sort of answering of questions here, maybe we've talked a little bit about job opportunities here and there, but maybe each of the program directors could maybe talk a little bit about, go a little further into that for a minute each, if you would like, just about your specific areas, because I know that they're very much in demand, and we're not asking for pay scales or price ranges or anything like that, or who gets paid more, but talk a little bit about the demand in your areas, and even where that might be in the US. I know New York is obviously a big one, but where else? Andy, you can start us off. You unmuted first.
Yeah. Hey. Yeah. I think at this point in time, the prognosis for jobs is really superb in all three fields. We're over 95% of our students find work within 6 months, which is really good. I mean, the U.S. economy has been incredibly strong. That may or may not change in the future, but when the U.S. economy is strong, there's just tremendous job opportunities for people. A number of people have asked how they can get higher paying jobs. I think that the type of company that you work for has a big effect there. If you do work in the financial sector, you generally are paid more than in other sectors. And New York City is arguably the financial capital of the world. So it's a good place to be. I personally believe that the right question to ask after you graduate is, how can I get the most experience and learn the most fastest, as opposed to how I can make 15% more money with this company than that company. But our grads are doing very well in the field right now.
Thanks, Andy. Pablo, yeah?
with respect to artificial intelligence, I just want to mention that we see lately we've seen an increase in the demand for health service applications. So this is one field that's very hot right now. So meaning applying artificial intelligence techniques to improve the diagnosis of certain illnesses and how to prevent them before they happen. So this is something that is very sought after right now in the health space, say. And another classical field where our graduates find jobs is in finance. So finance is becoming increasingly complex and demanding. So the engineers that work in this field, trading, buying, selling, are very on demand. And it's important in this case to have connections to the industry. So I would just like to mention that one of our faculty, Igor Halperin, who works at Fidelity Investment, for instance, was just awarded the buy-side quant of the year by Risk Magazine. So this is just to show you the level of the faculty and the connections that they have in the industry.
I think we can go to Sivan.
Yep, Sivan.
Okay, yeah, can you hear me? Just had a connection issue, so I couldn't hear the last question.
Yeah, just a question about employment, really, and kind of expanding a little bit on what you had mentioned earlier.
Yeah, so basically, Aaron mentioned that 95% of our students find their job right after they finish their studies. We launched during COVID 2 mentorship programs. And as part of these mentorship programs, we connected our students with leaders in the industry, really help them not only connect with other relevant leaders, but also work on their resume, build their own personal branding on social media, and many other things. So we have many collaborations in different with different communities and institutions here or relevant initiatives here in New York City. There is Cyber NYC initiative that was started right before COVID, and hopefully soon they will launch they will launch it again. And the idea is to connect as many people as possible in this field together. And we found that it was very helpful for our students. Some of our students also work for companies and work for our faculty members, companies that they worked at. And I think in cybersecurity, everyone has a really bright future as long as they're willing to invest time and learn and get the right experience and expertise. I think it's more about motivation and being passionate about this profession. Yeah, and there are many opportunities specifically in New York. And also, since you can work remote, you can get a job even if you live in New York in other places in the US.
Sivan, maybe just to cap that, can you help articulate the value of a master's in cybersecurity versus the plentiful other options that might be in the marketplace?
Yeah, so it's a great question, and I asked myself this question many times. There are many certificates out there. People take CISSP, CCSK, Certified Cloud Security, and also certificate. And why do you need a master's degree? So I think that all these certificates are very good for in case you're willing to stay in a specific place in your career. I think like cybersecurity, it's a pretty new program in the academia, and not many universities offer this program at all. At some point, if you're willing to get into a more senior level positions, or eventually to become a CISO, Chief Information Security Officer, I think that very soon a master's degree will become a core requirement to almost any senior level position in the industry. A certificate is okay, but it's not enough, and you can't really get the holistic perspective I described before if you're planning to become a CISO or to work in an enterprise or in a larger organization. You can't focus only on a certificate. You need to have a better understanding on the environment, on the organization, on the business side of almost any cybersecurity position, and very soon I think we'll see that a certificate is really not enough.
I think just to ensure that all attendees are on the same wavelength as we were when we tried to create this with Yeshiva University, that all three of these fields were definitely future-proof. The next 10 or 15 years, for that matter, for you guys. I think, like Sivan mentioned, cybersecurity, artificial intelligence, and data analytics is something that every organization across the world is going to need. In fact, it's the fuel to run them forward and to sustain them over time. And I think an MS in either of these three fields is definitely going to keep you in a hotbed of opportunities. Absolutely. With that, I think, Jerry, I have taken most of the questions.
I think there's one question I think we can probably answer, and we didn't address this, was what is the actual sort of week-to-week experience in classes in terms of your in-person sessions and the out-of-class work? So maybe Andy, if you want to generally address that, and we can maybe clarify that if needed for other programs.
Yeah, sure. So typically students go to school on campus 2 evenings a week, and in addition, they may get together and work on projects. They may meet one-on-one office hours with faculty. I think, related to that and other questions being asked, I think regardless of what you choose, which program or which school you go to, it's really true. The more you put into it, the more you get out of it. And getting a master's degree from a prestigious university like Yeshiva is, I think, a tremendously good idea. But our best students are very engaged. They ask for more work instead of, what's the minimum that I need to do. I think that another question that's been asked is what kind of background students with work experience. I think that's a tremendous value. In most of our programs, students work collaboratively on projects. An example of this with students from both the AI program and data visualization has been a summer internship with Standard & Poor's. And that last summer, 10 students worked together, collaborated, probably getting together 5 or 6 times a week, online or in person, to do a very impactful work that changed how S&P looked at climate risk. In fact, 3 of the students got job offers from S&P right after the course, which was a little bit embarrassing. But the collaboration goes on outside of class with the faculty and with the students. And I think the more that you collaborate and engage, the better off you'll be. I guess that's what I want to say. The more you put in, the more you get out. So.
I don't know about you, Pranit, but I was thinking that we're 10 minutes over, so we might let our yeshiva friends go for today. I think we got through all the questions. Yeah, we got through all the questions, but I'm going to let you take the baton now there, Pranit.
Yeah, we just had two, which are ones that I can answer for the team as well. So one is there any examination that is necessary? No. So GRE is waived off for all MS programs at Yeshiva when you're going through the upgrad route, because you're doing an advanced certificate program to prove your academic readiness and to prove your academic credibility. Now, while you need to have a 60% in your graduation from a relevant field, you need a 3 CGPA on your IIITB advanced certificate program to actually enter into Yeshiva University's MS program. We're going to have 2 intakes. One is the Jan intake, one is going to be the September intake. The other one that has been asked is if there are any scholarships. So Jerry had answered that, but just to be super clear, there's a flat rate for all students of 23,500 USD, which is obviously very, very, very low in terms of the general academic fee at Yeshiva, which is 113 USD per credit. So you're setting up to 10,000 USD on that fee. So you are already at a fee waiver. I think with that, we're done. Yes. So what certificate do I get from Yeshiva University? Is it a collaborative or standalone certificate? So you're a full-time MS student who gets a proper normal MS degree certificate from Yeshiva with nothing mentioned on it. Rather, you get an additional certification from IIIT, but your MS certificate will sort of be like a normal graduate who comes out of an MS program or graduates from one. Yes, Jerry?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, just like any other student who's transferring in credit, we just have that, a unique partnership with upGrad, which, obviously adds that value in terms of getting both certificates, which just help you be more competitive in the field that you choose.
Absolutely. With that, I'd like to thank everybody. I'd like to thank Jerry and everybody from Yeshiva University's team, Andy, Pablo, Sivan, Xavier, Aaron, and Jared. It was lovely having you. Thanks to all attendees for joining us on a Thursday evening. I put in my email address on the chat box. You can definitely reach out to us for any admissions related query. We are now starting a program on 15th of March for IIIT Bangalore's Advanced Certificate Program. One of our counselors will definitely get in touch with you to explain you and take you through. I hope the whole space was lucrative and instrumental in helping you decide or making a more well-informed decision about your MS program and building a tech career. Jerry, would you want to say a goodbye to the Yeshiva team?
Yeah, goodbye. Thanks for everyone from Yeshiva for joining. I know we were a little earlier than you would normally start probably the day, but thank you for joining, and look forward to having the students come and join you. And thank you to all the students that joined as well. I know it's an evening there in India, and very happy to have you on the call. So thank you, everyone, and have a good evening and a good day.
Thank you. And I just to add that if any of the prospective students are interested in learning more about the programs or speaking with program directors, definitely reach out to your upGrad advisors who will help facilitate those conversations. We'd be happy to continue discussing with you about your specific circumstances and personal interests, and good luck in the future.
Thank you, Aaron and the team. It was great having you. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.
All right.
Have a great evening.
All right. Take care. Bye.
Bye-bye.